Welcome back, guys. So in the last video we talked about a simple instance or simple problem in which the Boyle's law plays a critical role and we have to find the pressure of the gas. So in this video, as I told you in the last video, I'll be teaching you about the graphs of Boyle's law and Charles law. So in this video I'll be first of all teaching about the graphs of Boyle's law, and in another video I'll be talking about the graphs of Charles law. Alright, so the graphs of Boyle's law, graphs of Boyle's law right, graphs of Boyle's law. So graphs of Boyle's law, we know only one law regarding Boyle's law, that is equal, so that is PV equals K, PV equals K, right, PV equals K. So that is the only equation that we know about Boyle's law, from Boyle's law. So we have to draw the graphs. How many graphs? So we'll see how many graphs we can draw using this to this equation, right? First of all I'll draw the graph of P against V, P against V. So you know that PV is a constant, PV is a constant. So P is equal to K times 1 upon V. So this is actually the antiderivation. We derive from this step to this step. Now I am doing it in the reverse manner. So P is equal to K times 1 over V. So if I take P to be the y-axis, and so I'll take P 1 over V, right? P against 1 over V first, so that it will be easy. 1 over V, 1 upon V, right? I'll take this to be the y-axis, so this is y times m. The constant is a constant, so that will be the gradient, and 1 upon v will be x. So this is a graph in the form of y equals mx, y equals mx. So what you can do is we'll take the y-axis like this, the vertical axis, and the x-axis like this, the horizontal axis. So the y-axis actually the pressure, right? Y-axis is actually the pressure, and the x-axis is actually 1 upon v. So we are drawing the graph of P against 1 upon V. So it will be a form of y equals mx. So the graph, now we know that normal graph, the normal graph of y equals mx form is a straight line, but here the intercept is 0, so c is 0, so c is 0 means it is going through the origin, right? It is going through the origin, so it will be a graph like this, right? P against 1 upon V, and its magnitude, its gradient will be this angle theta, right? And that theta, tan theta, will be equal to K, so that is equal to PV, right? Tan theta will be equal to K, so from here we know K is equal to PV, so tan theta will be equal to PV, so theta is equal to tan inverse P times V. Right? Theta is equal to tan inverse P times V. So we can calculate the value of P and V at an instance, and we can find the value of theta. So the value of theta actually varies for various gases and at various instances. So that's the first graph, P against 1 upon V. So now what happens when I say P is plotted against V. Now, in the last graph we plotted P against 1 upon V, P against 1 upon V, so it will be, I actually thought of drawing the P against V, right? V graph first and then drawing P into 1 upon V, but then I later thought that this will be easy if I start from P against 1 upon V and then go to PV. So you know that PV is a K, PV equals K, PV equals K, right? PV equals K. So if PV is P equals K times 1 upon V, if P equals K, so this is in the form y equals m times 1 upon x. Oh, yx is a constant now. Yx is equal to the gradient. Y equals like this, a constant like this, right? So I'll take K here, right? I'll take K here. Yx is a constant, so this will be shaped like this. So you know from if yx is a constant, this will be the shape like this. This is the pressure, this is the volume, will be a shape like this, right? This is a shape like this. So you may have studied this in math as well, right? So if x is a constant, this shape like this, right? So that is the graph of P against V. So what is the graph of PV? Again, now we drew the graph. I have drawn the graph of P against 1 upon V. I have drawn the graph of P against V. So what is the graph of PV against P? So the third graph I will be drawing is PV against P, right? PV against P. So you know that PV is a constant. PV is a constant. So PV is a constant. So PV against P is a constant. Should be a constant because PV is unaffected whether if the temperature and mass of this system is constant, whether the volume is increased or volume is decreased, or whether the pressure is increased or the pressure is decreased. Whatever you draw, PV against V or PV against P, because PV is a constant, Y value is a constant. So if Y is a constant, it will be a graph that is parallel to the x-axis, right? So this will be like this, graph will be like this. So if you take the value of PV here against P, like this. So PV will be a constant for any value of P. So it will be like this. When P is equal to 0, P is equal to 0, like this. And when P is equal to some value here. So at P is equal to 0 you can actually draw, because 0 is PV is 0, right? So actually you have to draw it in a very small manner, right? Very small, with a very small magnitude. So what actually most authors and most books and most online material do is we just draw that. But actually when P is equal to 0, PV is also 0, right? So this axis is 0, means this is at this point. But we are not drawing that. Therefore for a small range, PV is a constant for P. But so what actually we do is we are intercepting the y-axis, right? So for any value of P, PV is a constant like this, and here it will be a constant like this, here it will be a constant like this, constant like this. So the graph will be like this, simply like this. So that is PV against P. Alright, for the fourth graph I will be drawing is log P against log V. Right, so this will be sometimes complex for students who are not well versed in math and other stuff, but you can easily derive that. So the only thing you know from Boyle's law is that PV is equal to K. PV is equal to K. So how can we derive a relationship between log P and log V, right? So what we can do is we can take the log value of both sides. So to make log P and to make log V, we need the log values of these two. So what we can do is we can take the log value of here. I'll take the log value here. Log PV is equal to log K, right? So I'm not taking any, you can take any base, right? Whether it's to base E, whether it's a natural logarithm, or whether it's to the base of 2 or 10 or anything. So the log value is any value, right? If you, the best thing is to take the value to the 10, right? So the base is any value. So log PV is equal to log K. So you know that if log, if you are given an expression like this, log A times B, what we will do is log A times B is equal to, so this is the theorem, log A plus log B. So the bases should be equal. The base is the value here, the base is the value here, and the base is the value here, right? Those three values should be equal. If it is log 2 to the base AB, it should be log 2 to the base A plus log 2 to the base B. So what is actually we have to do is that we have to take the log values. So what I will do here is also I will take the log values. So log value of PV is equal to log times P plus log value of V. So that is equal to log value of K, right? Log value of K. So what you can do is that if log value of P plus log value of V is equal to log value of K, we are actually drawing the graph, taking the y-axis as log P and the x-axis as log V. So we are changing the V and we can change log V, and we are experiencing, we are understanding the behavior. What happens when we change the value of V and we change the value of log V, what happens to the value of log P. So log V is the independent variable and log P is the dependent variable. So what I will do is that I will isolate log P and I'll form an equation like this. So log p, I can take log b to this side, so that will be minus log b plus log k. Now log k is a constant, right? Log k is a constant and log b is the independent variable. So this is minus 1 times log b, right? And log p is the dependent variable. So log k is a constant. So this is in the form, this if I take this as y-axis, this is in the form minus m times x plus c. Y equals minus mx plus c. Where y is log b, x is log b, and log k is a constant, and m is equal to 1. So if m is equal to 1, tan theta will be 1, so the theta will be 45. So the graph will be going exactly in the middle, right? So the graph will be like this, graph with a negative gradient and a positive intercept. So the graph will be like this. So the x-axis is log b and the y-axis is log p, right? So there will be a positive intercept somewhere here, I'll take here. So that depends upon the gas you are using, and the gradient will be minus. So the gradient will be minus is that it is making an obtuse angle with the positive x-axis. So the graph will be in the form of like this, right? And this angle is equal to 135 because this angle is equal to 45 degrees. We found that because tan theta is equal to 1, this angle is 45 degrees. So this angle should be 135 degrees. So this is the graph of log p against log b. So in this video I will be talking about the graphs of Boyle's law. In the first graph that I drew in this video, I drawn the graph of p against 1 upon b, and we found the graph to be in a shape like this. And in the second graph, p against b, we found the graph to be in the shape like this. The third graph was pv against p, and the shape was like this, a constant graph, which is the y value is constant while the x value is changing. So the last graph we drew here was the log p against log b, and we found the graph to be in the shape of this one with a positive intercept and a negative gradient. Alright, so those are the graphs of Boyle's law. The graphs of Boyle's law are very important when you are understanding the concept of Boyle's law and when you are solving equations under Boyle's law. So you don't have to draw graphs when you are solving equations or the problems. What you have to do actually is you have to understand what happens to the system when the system is obeying Boyle's law. So in this video I have been talking about the graphs of Boyle's law. So in the next video I will be talking about graphs of Charles law. See you then.